Come on, buddy. You can't do this again. It's been too long. People need another video.
I know! It's just my last video didn't quite work out so well. It was too long for me to finish, and I'm kind of running out of ideas.
Well, if you're out of ideas, you could always review one of my games. I know you've talked a little bit about them before here.
Good God, that video is old. And you know what? Since you're here, I think I will give that a shot. It has been a while.
Great. That's the spirit. Which game are you going to look at?
How does Angel of Darkness sound to you?
Did you really have to pick that one? I mean, really, there are so many other games. That one isn't my best work. I should know.
But Miss Croft, that is precisely why I want to talk about it. So I'm afraid you're going to have to strap yourself in. But before we even get to that, it's important to know where the developers are here. Tomb Raider 4: The Last Revelation was already completed. At the same time, they needed another Tomb Raider game for next year, which was Chronicles, but at the same time also, the team wanted to experiment with the next generation of hardware, which was this game. So now we have two games in development at the same time. What could possibly go wrong? Ha 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 ha. To make matters worse, this was a first generation title here for the PS2. I mean, for Tomb Raider to be on PS2 for the first time was a big deal. This just added to the whole ambiance of the game. This was supposed to be a premiere moment for the Tomb Raider franchise. But who are we kidding? It's time to rip the Band-Aid off.
Egypt, Werner. You walked away and left me.
Get out!
Well, alrighty then. Admittedly, that was a strong start. So here we have our main catalyst. Our protagonist, Lara Croft, is accused of murdering her former mentor, Werner von Croy.
Wait a second. How could they frame me for murder? Well, there was that one time when... And also, you know what? I can kind of see it.
After a really good shot with the camera, the chase is on. The journey begins. Really, Laura? You couldn't have ran faster for that one?
Well, what do you expect? I'm not as young as I used to be anymore.
Whatever you say, Grandma.
I said I wasn't as young as I used to be.
You know what? You're right. I am sorry. Why don't you take over for a bit while I grab some coffee or something?
Well, okay then. I guess I'm doing this now. After I get accused of murdering my former mentor, it becomes my job for my innocence. But first, it wouldn't be one of my games if I didn't explain to you how to use your control, or in the most painfully long and boring way possible.
The cursor keys. You can also use the mouse to steer me left or right.
After that, we're treated to some exercise. What? You thought I was magically able to do all that stuff by myself, without any work whatsoever? Please.
Alright, where the hell are we?
Good, you decided to come back.
Look, by now I'm sure you've probably figured out the problem already. Just looking at this, you can see the movement is incredibly sluggish. To make matters somehow even more worse, that exercise Laura mentioned, that is mandatory. This yellow bar here represents Laura's stamina. When you first start out playing, that bar will decrease faster than later in the game. That is what the symbols are tied to. For every time you see that symbol, that is an upgrade that will decrease the speed at which the yellow bar decreases. What that means from a gameplay standpoint is that there will be some areas that you can't access until you just happen to magically find whatever the thing is that will give you the upgrade so you can progress to the next area. While I see what they were trying for, in execution it doesn't always work. Everything of what I just said can be dealt with somewhat. You can tolerate most of these things, but there's one thing about this game that I really don't have an excuse for.
Is this your pitch?
All Paris is my pitch. Got any spare change? For a coffee?
Maybe. I need to find a man.
Right, I'm a city guide, all tastes and interests catered for.
Good. I need directions. I'm trying to find a man called Bouchard. Do you know him?
That's not a healthy kind of question to be asking.
Don't tell me Paris is dangerous.
Oh, we got all kinds of rough stuff here in Paris, including our own serial killer. Are you heard of the Monstrum, huh? You heard of him?
No idea. There are people who know, but if your mind wants to lie low, he won't be easy to contact.
I'd have guessed as much. Everyone's in hiding.
Not everyone, chérie. What do you want him for?
I'm trying to track down a friend's movements.
Lost, is he?
Dead. But he made contact with Bouchard before he checked out.
Tell you what.
Alright, enough. I can't take it anymore. Alright, these conversations are meant to make the game feel deeper, but all they really do is serve as a vehicle to get you from point A to point B. They don't mean anything beyond that.
Because who doesn't love being told to go to place after place after place, meanwhile putting yourself in harm's way?
By the way, Curtis Trent.
Oh, I actually forgot about him.
Yes, this was the other half of Angel of Darkness. A new playable character. Though by the time you play him, it gets a little, weird in the game, shall we say.
I would like to point out during this game, kind of lost my lunch repeatedly because of that crap. Oh, and by the way, we want to be spoiler-free here.
If you can look past everything we just said, this really isn't a bad game, but it does have some certain flaws that prevent you from enjoying it. I'm not saying you can't look past it, but if you can, it's actually a pretty enjoyable game.
And that was Angel of Darkness. As I said, not my best work.
But even still, I enjoyed your company. You were so nice and helpful. You can even come back if you want.
I will consider it, but until then, thank you.
Can you do one last thing for me? I promise I will try to be better with my upload schedule.
Promise?
Yes, of course. I promise.
Please remember to like and subscribe. We have rebooted this channel 4 or 5 times now. I hope this one will stick. See you next time.